Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, a lot of my podcasts that I talk about, things were better back in the day than they are now. Well, I contemplated a little bit and I realized not everything was better back in the day. I don't know if you've ever been to a restroom at a high school these days, but they're a heck of a lot better than they were when I was in school. When I was in school, we didn't even have doors on the stalls. That's right, 0 doors. Now, I don't know if you lived up north, they had them, but we didn't have them down here. If you had to go to the bathroom, like bathroom, and you had to go do it, you had to sit there and nobody would walk in the 5-8 minutes you were sitting on the toilet, because somebody would come in and they'd see everything there and you're just sitting there like completely vulnerable. Now, one time I actually had to go. I sit in the toilet. Somebody comes in. He looks at me. I look at him. And I'm like, look, just turn around, do your business, and roll out. I got something going on right here. Now, we had dividers, but we had no doors. Now, I get it why they didn't have doors, because back then people were smoking in the boys' room. Yeah, we had people smoking all the time in the boys' room. Now they're like vape. But even the worst bathrooms were the gym locker room. Now, I wrestled and played football in high school, and after every game or every match, nobody took a shower, because the showers were like army stalls. They had a spigot and a big pipe in the middle with a bunch of shower heads there and another one with a bunch of shower heads there. Nobody ever took a shower. They used to just change their clothes and head on over to the Pizza Hut for some pizza and a pitcher of Pepsi. And then they had stalls, like toilet stalls, and they had 10 in a row. Not a divider in sight. One time I had to go to the bathroom. I went in to take a leak, and there's a guy. He's all the way at all the way at the end in the corner. I look at him. He looks at me, and I just turn, take a leak. I knew I wasn't going to say anything to the guy. I wasn't going to laugh at him, because we were in high school. You always laugh at the guy. Point at him or something, laugh at him, sitting there taking a dump. I did my business, walked out. But of course, I told everybody else on the bleachers that there's a guy in there taking a crap. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so not everything was better back then as it is now. You go to these bathrooms now at a high school, and it's like a 5-star hotel bathroom. They got dividers, they got hand dryers, they got little nice soap dispensers in there. Nobody's writing on the bathroom walls. Nobody's writing "I love so-and-so" on the bathroom walls. No one's making fun of anybody on the bathroom walls. Completely clean. I'm astonished. Like these kids now, they don't know how good they got it. It's so much better with the bathrooms than they were when I was a kid. So that's my observation of the day, because, man, things were better, but man, those bathrooms were terrible. I hate having to go to the bathroom. Terrible. Anyway, now for the conversation of the day. Well, December's closing out. It's going to be January 1st, and people start filing their taxes. And it always astonishes me when people start filing their taxes are the people that wait for this year till they get their tax return. Now, I'm on the other spectrum. I enjoy getting more money in my check now than getting a huge return at the end of the year. I just like doing it. I prefer to get the money now. You can do something with it, invest it, whatever you want to do with it. But you can do more money with the money now than getting a big chunk at the end. But a lot of people do that. It's like their savings account. Or it's like an end of the year bonus form. They get $2,000, $3,000, $6,000 back, whatever the case may be, and they use it to buy something, pay off a car, pay off some credit cards. But a lot of people prefer to get that big check at the end of the year. I just never really understood why people don't want to get the money now in their paycheck throughout the year. I own my own business, so my taxes are pretty intricate with some things. But when you're a regular W-2 employee, I prefer to get more money in my paycheck than get a big fat check at the end of the year. So if you are one of those people, comment why you actually do that. I'm curious why people like to put more money into their taxes and then get a check back at the end of the year. So I like to be curious why you do that. And people don't realize how much they're actually taxed, because it's just not your paycheck. You're taxed when you go to the grocery store. You're taxed when you buy gas. You're taxed when you get when you go you renew your license plates and stuff. That's a tax. That's tax. A lottery, by the way, lottery is like a self-imposed tax. We pay that, buy a lottery ticket. It's like you're paying a tax every time you buy a lottery ticket. People don't realize that. It goes to the state, doesn't it? It doesn't go anywhere else. And it's supposed to go for education, but yeah, whatever. See how many scallops they actually throw out with, lottery money. It's not as many as they said it was going to be. But you're taxed on just about everything. So if you make $100,000 a year, you bring home maybe $75,000, and then you're taxed on everything else. You're bringing home like maybe $60,000 a year after making $100,000 a year. And if you make $10 an hour, it's even worse because now you're taxed, 20%, 25% out of your paycheck. Then you're taxed 7, 8% when you go to the store. You're taxed, 12% when you 12 pennies, whatever, on a dollar when you go buy gas. It goes on and on and on. Now, there's a big debate right now about tariffs. I'm a big tariff guy. I think we should do it. And people are like, oh, it's going to cause inflation. It's going to cause prices to go up. You know what? Back in the late 1890s, we were like 100% tariff. That's how we made our revenue, the United States government. And over the years, things started changing. The tax code in 1913 was about 400 pages long. It is now 79,000 pages long, a United States tax code. 79,000 pages long. That's ridiculous to have that many pages of a tax code. It should be very simple. We should have a flat tax, and we should get tariffs. And people are complaining about the tariffs, saying that it's going to raise prices and everything. We haven't done it. Like, you're complaining about something that hasn't even ever been implemented in over 100 years. And it worked before. The economy is obviously a lot different than it was back then, but why not? We should taxing the heck out of people that are giving us products when they're not taking products back from us. We're not sending a lot of stuff overseas. We're bringing in a whole lot of stuff, but we're not sending a lot out. So we need to change that, and tariffs will help fix that and balance it. Because what tariffs will do, they'll start getting people to, you know what? I'm not paying 200% tariffs on items we're selling to the United States. We're going to build factories into the United States and do that. Because you're taxed on everything. Nobody even owns their own house. You may have a house. You may even pay it off, but you're still paying property tax every year. So you don't even own your own property or your house, even when you pay it off. Because the state and the county still has to get their money. So maybe this is a way to alleviate some of that. And big one right now is Social Security. Where they're talking about trying to get rid of the taxing people on their Social Security check. And that's something you pay into that your entire life. And then when 65 comes around, you get that Social Security, and the government is taking a little chunk out of that every month. Every month, they get a little Social Security check out of that, a little taxes out of the Social Security check. Now, a lot of my customers are elderly, and they get Social Security checks. And you can imagine, a lot of them are on fixed incomes. Imagine getting an extra $200, $300, $400 a month in that check back to you. That's life-changing money for a lot of people. I think that's great. And not taxing our payroll. Imagine you making $500 a week and you get to keep all $500. That's fantastic. And we need to start electing people that are going to fight for that, because somewhere along the line, the last 100 years, our country got greedy. And they got greedy. And we just kept allowing them to take a little bit more, and a little bit more. Didn't we like throw a bunch of tea in a harbor one time over taxes? Taxation without representation? And then that was a far, far cry time ago than where we are now. We just let it happen. Continually let it happen. So hopefully they start changing these tax codes and Americans can start getting more money in their paychecks than they have been getting. And these companies that are abusing the system and charging us a bunch of money to send all their products over here and not taking any products back from us, they're going to start paying their fair share. And we can start leveling the playing field. And America start, rising, and our taxes out of our paychecks can start lowering. Because I'd love to get a couple extra $100 in my paycheck every month, wouldn't you? Hopefully things start happening quicker. So, like I said, drop a comment. Let me know how you feel about your taxes. Do you like to get a big check at the end of the year? Or do you like get the money now every week or every month out of your paycheck? I'm curious. Subscribe, like us, follow us on all the other social medias, and find us next time for a little chit-chat, some observations, and some good old-fashioned conversation. Thanks.